But can you show up on day 47 when you're tired, when you're not seeing results, when nobody's cheering for you? That is where the magic happens. Every time you keep your word, you're making a deposit. Every time you break your word, you're making a withdrawal. You're giving all your power away to circumstances you can't control. That's insanity. Your dreams are not going to chase you. You have to chase them. You are not who you think you are. You are what you repeatedly do. They kept showing up when nobody was paying attention. They kept improving when there was no evidence it was working. Look, I want you to understand something fundamental about how real success works in this world. It's not about those big, flashy moments. It's not about that one perfect day where everything falls into place. That's not how champions are made. That's not how empires are built. That's not how you transform your life from where you are right now to where you desperately want to be. Think about a penny. Just one penny, worthless, right? You see it on the ground. You probably don't even bother picking it up. But what if I told you that if you doubled that penny every single day for 30 days, you'd have over $5 million? That's the power we're talking about here. That's what happens when small actions compound over time. But here's the catch. You've got to show up every single day. You miss day 15, and you've just cut your results in half. You skip day 20, and you've lost everything you built. This is exactly how your life works. Every workout you do, every page you read, every sales call you make, every time you practice your craft, it's adding up. You just can't see it yet. And that's where most people quit. They work out for 2 weeks and wonder why they don't have abs. They read for a month and wonder why they're not brilliant. They hustle for 90 days and wonder why they're not millionaires. They don't understand the game they're playing. Your body doesn't transform in the gym. It transforms during the weeks and months of showing up to the gym. Your bank account doesn't explode from one big deal. It grows from the daily prospecting, the daily follow-ups, the daily rejection you push through. Your skills don't skyrocket from one practice session. They develop through the boring, repetitive work that nobody wants to do when nobody's watching. The universe is always watching your patterns. It's not impressed by what you do once. It's not moved by your good intentions or your perfect plan. It responds to what you do consistently, repeatedly, relentlessly. Because that's what reveals who you really are. Anyone can go hard for a day. Anyone can be motivated for a week. But can you show up on day 47 when you're tired, when you're not seeing results, when nobody's cheering for you? That is where the magic happens. Every single day you have a choice. You can either invest in your future self, or you can stay comfortable. You can either add another drop to your bucket, or you can convince yourself that one day. Doesn't matter. But it does matter. Because one day becomes 2 days, becomes a week, becomes a month, and suddenly you've lost momentum. Suddenly you're starting over again. And starting over is exhausting. You want to know what separates the people who make it from the people who don't? It's not talent. It's not connections. It's not even luck. It's trust. And trust isn't built in a moment. Trust is built through showing up over and over and over again, exactly when you said you would. When people can predict your behavior, when they know you're going to deliver, when they've seen you do it 100 times before. That is when doors start opening that you didn't even know existed. Think about the people in your life right now that you trust the most. Why do you trust them? Because one time they did something amazing? No. You trust them because they've been there. They've shown up. They've proven themselves through repetition, through consistency. That's the currency that matters in this world. Your word becomes your bond. Only when you back it up with action, repeatedly, without fail, in business, in relationships, in every area of your life. People are watching. They're not just listening to what you say. They're watching what you do. And more importantly, they're watching what you keep doing. You tell your clients you'll deliver by Friday. And you deliver by Friday every single time. That's how you build a reputation. That's how you become the person everyone wants to work with. You tell your team you've got their back, and you show up for them in the hard times, not just the good times. That's how you build loyalty. That money can't buy. But here's what most people do. They're inconsistent. They're hot and cold. They're motivated on Monday and making excuses by Wednesday. They show up when they feel like it, when it's convenient, when the conditions are perfect. And then they wonder why nobody takes them seriously. They wonder why opportunities pass them by. They wonder why they're not getting the respect they think they deserve. Credibility is everything. It's the difference between being heard and being ignored. It's the difference between people investing in you and people passing you by. And you cannot buy credibility. You cannot shortcut credibility. You earn it through the boring, unglamorous work of doing what you said you would do, when you said you would do it, regardless of how you feel. When you're consistent, something incredible happens. People start to believe in you before you even ask. They start to recommend you. They start to create opportunities for you because they know you won't let them down. Your reputation precedes you. And in a world full of people who over-promise and under-deliver, someone who consistently shows up and executes becomes invaluable. Every time you keep your word, you're making a deposit. Every time you break your word, you're making a withdrawal. And just like a bank account, you can't keep withdrawing forever. Eventually, you're overdrawn. Eventually. Nobody believes you anymore. But when you've been making deposits consistently, you build reserves of trust that open doors you never imagined possible. Listen to me very carefully. Motivation is a liar. Motivation is that friend who shows up to the party, gets everyone excited, and then disappears when it's time to clean up. You cannot build your life on motivation because motivation comes and goes like the weather. One day you're fired up, ready to conquer the world. And the next day you can't even get out of bed. That's not a strategy. That's not a foundation. That's a recipe for mediocrity. You know what never fails you? Discipline. Discipline is showing up when you don't feel like it. Discipline is doing the work when every fiber of your being wants to quit. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments, and it doesn't. care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're not in the mood. It just cares about what needs to be done. Successful people aren't more motivated than you. Let me destroy that myth right now. They have bad days. They wake up tired. They don't feel like working out. They don't feel like making those calls. They don't feel like sitting down and doing the hard work. The difference is they do it anyway. They've built systems and habits that run, regardless of their emotional state. They've made discipline their default setting. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wait until you're motivated to brush your teeth, do you? You don't sit around hoping inspiration strikes to maintain your dental hygiene. You just do it. It's automatic. It's non-negotiable. That is what discipline looks like. That's what you need to build around your most important goals. You need to make success automatic, not emotional. The problem with relying on motivation is that you're basically gambling with your future. You're saying, I'll work on my dreams when I feel like it, and feelings are unreliable. Feelings change based on your sleep, your stress, what you ate for breakfast, who said what to you yesterday. You're giving all your power away to circumstances you can't control. That's insanity. But when you have discipline, you take your power back. You decide that regardless of how you feel, these things are going to get done. You create identity, level habits that define who you are. You become the person who works out 5 days a week, period. You become the person who reads every morning, no exceptions. You become the person who follows through, always. And here's the beautiful irony. Once you build true discipline, motivation starts showing up more often because you start seeing results, because you start respecting yourself, because you're actually making progress instead of just dreaming about it. Motivation follows action. It doesn't precede it. Most people are waiting to feel ready. They're waiting to feel inspired. Meanwhile, disciplined people are out there building empires, while everyone else is waiting for a perfect moment that never comes. You've got dreams, right? Everyone's got dreams. Everyone's got that vision board, that list on their phone, that perfect picture in their head of where they want to be. You want the business. You want the body. You want the relationship. You want the financial freedom. Beautiful. I love that. But let me ask you something that's going to make you uncomfortable. What did you do today to get closer to that dream? Because here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. The gap between where you are right now and where you want to be isn't closed by dreaming harder. It's not closed by wanting it more. It's not closed by visualization or affirmations or posting quotes on social media. That gap is only closed by execution, by daily execution, by getting up every single day and doing the unglamorous, difficult work that moves you one step closer. You know what the difference is between a dreamer and an achiever? A dreamer talks about what they're going to do. An achiever shuts up and does it. A dreamer waits for the perfect moment. An achiever creates the moment through action. A dreamer has 1,000 reasons why they can't start today. An achiever has one reason why they must. Because today is all they've got. I see people all the time with these massive goals. They want to lose 50 pounds. They want to build $1 million business. They want to write a book. And I ask them, what are you doing today? And they look at me like I'm speaking a foreign language. They tell me about their plan. They tell me about what they're going to do next month. They tell me they're waiting for the right time. Meanwhile, their dream is collecting dust. Every single day that you don't take action, you're voting against yourself. You're choosing comfort over growth. You're choosing to stay exactly where you are. And the cruel reality is that staying where you are is actually moving backwards because everyone else is moving forward. The world doesn't stop because you're not ready. The competition doesn't wait because you need more time. Life is happening right now, and you're either in the game or you're on the sidelines, watching. Daily execution is everything. It's the only thing that matters. Because you can have the most beautiful vision in the world, but if you're not backing it up with daily action, it's just fantasy. It's just entertainment for your mind. You want to know if your goals are real? Look at your calendar. Look at how you spent today. Look at what you actually did. Not what you planned to do, not what you wanted to do, but what you actually executed on. Your dreams are not going to chase you. You have to chase them. And chasing them doesn't mean thinking about them more. It means waking up and putting in the work before you check your phone. It means sacrificing what you want right now for what you want most. It means understanding that the bridge between dreaming and achieving is built brick by brick, day by day. Through relentless execution, you think you know who you are. You think your identity is fixed, written in stone, unchangeable. Let me tell you something that's going to shift your entire perspective. You are not who you think you are. You are what you repeatedly do. Your identity isn't formed by your thoughts, your wishes, or your intentions. Your identity is formed by your actions, and more specifically, by the actions you take consistently. Over time, every single time you do something, you're casting a vote for the type of person you want to become. Every time you go to the gym, you're casting a vote for being a fit person. Every time you sit on the couch, you're casting a vote for being a sedentary person. Every time you read, you're voting for being knowledgeable. Every time you scroll mindlessly, you're voting for being distracted. Your brain is keeping track. Your subconscious is keeping score. And eventually, the votes add up, and that becomes your identity. Most people have this backwards. They say, I want to be a successful entrepreneur, so let me start acting like one. No. You start acting like one first, consistently, and then you become one. You don't wait to feel like a disciplined person before you start being disciplined. You act disciplined repeatedly until your brain says, oh, I guess this is who we are now. That's how transformation actually works. This is why consistency is so powerful. It's not just about achieving external results. It's about fundamentally rewiring who you are at your core. When you do something once, it's an event. When you do it twice, it's a coincidence. But when you do it every single day for months, that becomes your identity. That becomes non-negotiable. That becomes who you are. Think about smokers who quit. The ones who succeed aren't the ones who say, "I'm trying to quit smoking." They're the ones who say, "I am not a smoker." They've changed their identity. They've rewired their self-perception. Through the consistent action of not smoking, that's the difference between temporary change and permanent transformation. You want to be a writer. Stop saying you want to write. Start writing every day. And after 100 days of showing up to the page, you won't have to call yourself a writer anymore. You'll just be one. You want to be healthy. Stop talking about getting healthy. Start making healthy choices consistently. And your body and mind will align with that new identity. You want to be successful. Start doing what successful people do. Not once in a while when you feel like it, but every single day. Until it becomes automatic. Your current identity is nothing more than a collection of your past behaviors. If you don't like who you are right now, if you're not living up to your potential, it's because your past actions haven't aligned with who you want to become. But here's the incredible news. You can start rewriting that story right now, today, this moment. Every action you take is a chance to reinforce the identity you want or destroy the identity you're trying to leave behind. You see somebody blow up seemingly out of nowhere and you think they got lucky. You see someone suddenly on top of the world and you think, right place, right time. You watch someone achieve massive success and you tell yourself, they had advantages I don't have. And you know what? You're dead wrong. You're looking at the highlight reel and missing the entire movie that came before it. That overnight success you're envying. That person was grinding in obscurity for 5 years, for 10 years, for 15 years. They were failing when nobody was watching. They were learning when nobody cared. They were building skills, making mistakes, getting rejected, and showing up again the next day. When the world had completely forgotten about them, what you're seeing now isn't the beginning. It's the payoff. It's the moment when years of invisible work finally becomes visible. Nobody sees the songwriter who wrote 100 terrible songs before they wrote the hit. Nobody sees the entrepreneur who failed at 4 businesses before the 5th one took off. We only see the breakthrough. We only see the moment it all comes together. And then we call it luck. But it's not luck. It's mathematics. It's the compound effect of consistent effort reaching critical mass. Think about water boiling. You heat it from 0 degrees to 99 degrees, and nothing happens. It's just hot water. But you add 1 more degree, and suddenly, it's steam. Suddenly, it has the power to move a locomotive. That last degree didn't do all the work. Every single degree mattered. Every single degree was necessary. But the transformation only becomes visible at the end. This is exactly what's happening with your efforts right now. You're working, you're grinding. You're putting in the time, and you're not seeing results yet. So you think it's not working. You think you're wasting your time. But what you don't realize is that you're heating the water, you're at 70 degrees, 80 degrees, 90 degrees. You're so close to the breakthrough, but you can't see it yet because the transformation hasn't materialized. The people who make it aren't more talented than you. They're not smarter than you. They just refused to quit during the invisible years. They kept showing up when nobody was paying attention. They kept improving when there was no evidence it was working. They trusted the process. When every logical part of their brain was screaming at them to give up and do something else. Success is never about one big moment. It's about 10,000 small moments that nobody saw. It's about the daily discipline that felt meaningless at the time. It's about showing up on day 347 with the same intensity you had on day 1, even though you still haven't gotten your breakthrough yet.